Hello, this is Deborah Peters from Neuroengineering Institute. Welcome back to my podcast, Neuroscience for Success, and this new series, The Journey of the Mastery of Your Mind. And my co-host, Richard Daniel Curtis, is right here with us to say hello.
Why, hello.
So glad to have you. And you'll notice, I think, that in this actual vlog, we sorted through our camera issues. So thank you.
Absolutely. Spent a bit of time. I've changed technology, but it's worth it. It was worth it. So the last time, we consider it an experiment. It's an experiment we're not going to repeat.
Right, and we actually had a conversation after the vlog saying, I don't know, do we post this? Should we redo? Like, do we need a do-over? And we both agreed that, particularly since the topic of that podcast was perseverance, that by keeping it and posting it, we were showing our own perseverance. So
Absolutely. So important. You've got to do practice what you preach, because actually it's not necessarily about whether the camera's in focus or not. It's about the content of what we're saying. That's what's going to make the difference.
absolutely. And so, I want to thank you guys, all of you out there, for watching and sharing and liking and commenting, because it's your participation that makes this so rewarding for both of us. And it's interesting that we're even having this dialogue around perseverance and just being willing to put something out there that's not necessarily perfect, but to get the information out, because we thought the content was brilliant. Is that it's today's topic. We've gone over many tools, and I think you'll find most articles and most podcasts and most blogs are really centered around what you do. It's the first question I think as a coach you get from a client is like, well, what do I do? And it's so easy to say, okay, this is what you do. But that's not going to be our focus today, because doing is a symptom of something else. And it's really how you feel. It's really how you feel. It doesn't really matter so much what you do, as more importantly, how you feel about what you're doing.
Exactly. It's all about the experience. Let's be honest. Life is all about our own personal experience. We all live in a different world. We all have different experiences at any one time. We all have our own emotional roller coaster. And so actually, put it very bluntly, life is all about perception. No, it's the way that you view life is completely unique to you. It's only you that ever see through your eyes.
It's true. It is so true. I had some things happening the last couple of days, and I had to remind myself. And so even though we're the ones providing this information, doesn't mean that we're immune to our own fears and doubts, right? They do come up.
Absolutely, absolutely. As we've said in previous episodes, we all have those little voices inside our heads. We all have them niggling away. The only difference is that we've spent a lot of many thousands of hours learning how to deal with them.
And tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh my gosh. So I could probably, build a small castle with what I've spent on personal growth and professional development. And rightly so.
But it's really important, because actually, it's really important that our listeners understand that we have invested in that personal growth. We have spent the time and the money in learning about how to learn about ourselves, in order to be able to sit here and to share the things that we're sharing, to have the conversations that we're having. That would not have happened without both of us having invested in ourselves.
I was thinking this morning about a lot of the clients that I've coached over the years, and how important it always was to keep them out of content. We have a saying in NLP that there is no content in content worth knowing. So what that really is demonstrating is that what really counts is how you feel. And so if the things you're talking about, if out loud or inside your mind, if the things that you're sharing with others, if the things that you're focusing on in your thought process is making you feel bad, stop it. Stop it. Just stop. Because that's what
Like,
stop.
it's a bit like saying to yourself, "Oh, when I've got this money, or when I'm successful, I'm going to live like this." No, no, no. I'm sorry. The way that you become successful is to start living like that. And I'm not talking about being extravagant and spending lots of money and all the rest of it. It's about, for example, telling yourself that when you made it, in your business or something like that, then you're going to make sure that you take an afternoon off to spend with your son, or to go to the beach or something like that. Now, it's only by starting to do those things that you then start to actually feel success.
Well said. I think that really sums it up. The feeling of success is what you're talking about. Again, it comes back to the feeling. What feeling are you emanating from you? What feeling are you putting forward? I had some thoughts that were doubtful yesterday, and so I had to step back and go, wait a minute, what is this making me feel like? What was making me feel terrible? I felt horrible. And so, what a great way of just putting myself into a new place by being honest with myself that those were the thoughts were making me feel horrible, not the actual situation, because the actual situation was not anywhere near as bad as what my thoughts were. Isn't that always the case?
Yeah, but it's so true. Well, because what you're talking about is you're talking about anxiety and fear, and that's all about the future. It's not about living the moment. It's, fear is based in the future. Fear is worrying about and spending time focusing on what could go wrong, or what could happen, or what people's perception could be of something. It's not about what's actually happening now. And the biggest thing we're dealing with particularly with fear, is to start focusing on the now. What is your experience right now? What are your emotions? What are you enjoying right now? And that's whenever I'm dealing with anyone who encounters a lot of fear or anxiety, then that's where I'll start. Is I'll help them to feel the present. I won't. I'll teach them ways, and I'll talk to them about how to feel in the moment, not in the future.
True. We had this tool in NLP called timeline therapy. And so we'd get a lot of people that would come in with anxiety. And anxiety is just really a fear of the unknown that gets built up in our neurology and becomes this thing. So what we would do is actually have them get out in front of the thing that they thought they were unsure of, as if it had already happened. So we'd have them look down their timeline and say, okay, here's this thing, this event in the future that hasn't happened yet. So let's go beyond the experience of it and see that experience as being successful. And then turn around and look back through the event toward now. And it's like, boom, the anxiety pops because it puts you in a completely different reference point. It puts you in a completely different spatial relationship to this idea of something that could go wrong. And when you allow yourself to see that it actually worked out fine, that's the end of feeling badly.
Exactly. So much is about our fear of what's going to go wrong, about our anxiety, about our concern, about how people are going to react, what's actually going to happen. One of the biggest things that I've learned over the last few years, in terms of success, is that actually, you put something out there, and sometimes you just need to stop and to let it happen. Certainly, over the last few weeks of my life, um, I've been involved in it because over here there's a big drive on mental health awareness, and I'm sure you're aware that I've hosted a few conferences, and I've spoken at a few conferences about mental health in business and in workplaces. So over here, there's a big drive on that, and so I've been writing a lot of articles. I've had an article come out in Huffington Post and some other um, some other forums over here. But that has meant that I haven't been focused on the day-to-day sales process. So actually, in terms of my funnel, prior to this, I've put out some stuff out there, but then the universe has just let that happen to me. Whilst I've been busy doing what I enjoy, which is talking and sharing my passion, the universe has provided.
The universe always provides. We always get what we focus on most of the time. And then it's the letting go. Because if you're holding on tight and white knuckling, if the outcome is going to happen, then you push it away. Because it's quantum physics. You can start studying quantum physics and you'll get a better understanding of how energy works. So that really is a good starting point, I think, for most people to be able to really grasp this and get their arms around it. And then secondly, shift your focus to what else you want to create, and find, we talked a lot about appreciation, because appreciation puts you into a really good feeling place. And you brought up the universe. So appreciation and the universe, or God, or whatever the word is or words are that you use to describe source energy, it really is one and the same. Source energy or God or the universe is always appreciating us. There's no judgment. They're not they, he, she's not making us wrong. They're always in a neutral place of, you get what you focus on. So you want to feel bad about yourself, you're going to get a lot more experiences and opportunities to feel bad about yourself. It's law of attraction. You want to feel good about yourself, you're going to get a lot of more experiences and opportunities and people in your life that are going to mirror back to you that you're feeling good about yourself. And state management is really the key to success. And if you go back and study, you can go back at the turn of the other century, Wallace D. Wattles and Florence Scovel Shinn and Charles Hannell wrote the Master Key. You want to go back and study some of those original writings that then Napoleon Hill picked up on and started mapping out based on studying, the Carnegies and the Rockefellers and the Fords and the Chases. It's just a mapping, not so much of what you think or what they thought to become so enormously successful. What he mapped was how to think, and the how is to connect with your inner being. What's interesting is the word vibration got edited out many, many times when Napoleon Hill was doing his manuscript. And so if you go back to Charles Hannell or Florence Scovel Shinn or Wallace D. Wattles, vibration is everywhere in those books, everywhere. And that's the point I wanted to make today in our vlog, is that you can go do, and work yourself to death and be miserable. Or you can get yourself into alignment. So there's no split energy on what your physical being, your mental being, and your spiritual being. When there's split energy there, when there's they're not connecting and they're not working in harmony, that's when life's hard. I don't know how else to say it.
I'm just sitting reflecting to you, and I'm sat here wondering: have you ever read Marcus Aurelius's Meditations?
I have.
I'm sat here reflecting because I read them a few months ago, and so many of the things that you're talking about, if you read Meditations, and for any viewers and listeners that haven't read Marcus Aurelius Meditations, I really suggest that you do. I mean, it's virtually fine. You just read them, because actually they're using a different language, but what you'll find in there is so many of these themes. We're not just talking stuff that's 100 odd years old here. We're talking stuff that's been recognised, back 2,000 years ago.
Right. You know, it's interesting. So I had a company here last week and I did their annual strategic plan with them. And when I recommended some of these books, one of the team members pulled out her iPhone and was looking up the authors, and she went, "Oh wow, these people are old." She goes, "So this has been around for a long time." And I said, "It's been around a lot longer than just a couple hundred years. Like this is the words of the ancients, my friends, and it's very much relevant today than it has ever been. And what's happening in our world, in our society, people are waking up to this realization that there's really something to this whole bit about getting up in the morning and before you engage with that outer world, to put yourself into alignment so that you are able to start the day from a place of using that inner power to create with, so you're not having to just like hammer away and hope to eke out a living. This is the secret sauce that keeps the haves and the have-nots on two very separate playing fields.
Exactly. And lots of people call it different things. If you read if you read The Secret, then it's very present. It's very apparent in there. If you read Dr. Spencer Johnson's The Present, then it's apparent in there as well. It's in all of these different writings. You're going to find it's represented in different ways, slightly different language, but it's all referring to the same thing. I read another book recently called The Gamma Mindset.
Mhm.
Absolutely fantastic. Again, if you haven't read The Gamma Mindset, worth reading. And that talks about it from a scientific point of view, from an electromagnetic point of view. But it's all talking about the same sort of thing.
We're all saying the same thing. We're just saying it in a different way. But I don't want you to think that you don't have to take action. That's really not the point here. The point is that the action you do take will come from a different place. And see, this is what The Secret didn't talk about. That's all through those books. And The Secret was based on those authors that I mentioned. But the one thing they failed to say is that you absolutely must take action. And it won't be because you have to. It will be because you're so inspired, because you're so guided, because you're so aligned, that the thrill of the action is euphoric. And I know you find that in your work, and I do too. It's the basis of everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, whenever I'm talking to a prospective new client in the office, for example, my team always say to me, "You're just on the phone making friends," and that's all I'm doing, is just sharing my passion and just meeting new people who share the same interests. And so many of my clients, whether it's adults, whether it's teenagers that I'm coaching, so many of my clients are just people that are interested in the same things that I talk about and just how to apply it to their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we are so out of time.
Oh no!
Yes, we are. So what's your one?
Oh, my one today. Oh my goodness me. Um, so my one today is, there is always a time to get off of the hamster wheel and just be.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, since I'm on this Charles Hannell, Florence Scovel Shinn, Wallace D. Waddles kick today, my one is this. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its invisible state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. Your thought in this substance causes the thing that is imaged by your thought.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Have a blessed day. We all love you,
Thank you,
right?
guys. Mwah.
Yeah, share, like, comment. Let us know how you doing. and what we can do to bring you more content that's relative to what you're experiencing in your life right now. Take care. Bye. Ciao. Mwah.